I'm at the Rattlesnake Roundup, Whigham, Georgia. Rattlesnakes everywhere. I don't really use this camera much lately. This is too big to like put in the case. And, I bought it for other things.
Got a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Chosen one. Chosen. Separate word one. W-O-N. Yeah.
I look at YouTube every night.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I'll check out the site.
Yeah, okay. I think I have 183,000 subscribers.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
I'll subscribe and feel like
You know, I've never asked anybody to do that. But I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. How'd you like them? Good, good. You're welcome. Yeah, 3 miles a gallon.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, probably.
Probably. If I have a match.
Yeah, I'm gonna come. I've been looking for these. I thought there'd be T-shirts all over with rattlesnake stuff on them.
This is a
Yep.
official t-shirt.
Oh, it is. I'm gonna get some before I leave then. Thank you.
Okay, good. Come back.
All right.
These are all we have, though, so just put them.
Oh, it is.
Yep, we can put them all out. They're $20 a piece.
Well, maybe I ought to get them now then, huh?
I would recommend, because
Yeah.
the colors will get. Oh gosh! Right.
I'm looking for handmaids.
We'll do it later. Don't crap.
This is not mine. Take a long
Oh yeah? Seems like that would be a safer spot.
I think this is maple syrup.
Well, since we're at that point,
20. You not a grit eater?
I love grit.
You need to try some of these.
Make sure you sit close to the front. We might just call you up to become a victim. I mean, a volunteer. Just like this, don't move. All right? Here we go. You ready? You ready? Okay, I'm gonna hand it to you. Here we go. Snake coming out. Okay, pay attention now. Don't move your hands. Okay, here we go. All right. So, put him right here. Just put him right here. There we go. Okay, so this is a pretty cool snake. One of my favorite snakes, and one snake we get more calls about than any other snake. Are you good? Keep your mouth closed so you don't go in it. Now, raise your hand if you've ever heard of a snake called a black snake. You know what a black snake actually is? It's a snake that's black in color. The person doesn't know what it's really called, so they call it a black snake. There's no snake in all of America known as a black snake. There are several different species of snake that may be black in color, but are very different from each other. Now this is a rat snake. The further north you go, the darker they get. The black rat snake. Further south you go, they're gray. On the coast of Georgia, rat snakes there are yellow. Georgia also has a red rat snake that we call a corn snake, okay? So really great snake to have around. Now, Ava, let me see this. Here, you hold that end right there. You got that in? All right, so now this snake does not have venom. He does not have fangs. So if you were to bite us, it's not going to kill us, right? But if it did bite, could it possibly make us sick? What do you guys think? Could it? No. Could you be still? Get over here. Ava, listen. Have you ever had food stuck in your teeth? You know what the first thing it starts to cause? Bad breath. That's what she's got right now. See, I'm kidding. It's not that bad. Bacteria starts to grow. Snakes' teeth are not designed to trap particles of food like ours. They don't have the bacteria that we do. You would have more trouble from infection getting bit by the person sitting next to you right now than you would from any snake in the world, even a venomous snake. Even though they eat mice and rats and all kind of stuff, the risk of infection from a snake bite is extremely low. We hardly ever see it. Now, we don't want to get bit by this guy, but if he did bite, it wouldn't really do anything to us. That's why, even though he can bite, we consider it a harmless snake. Okay? Now, Ava, you did a really good job. Can I ask you one thing, though? This is a rat snake. It's a rat snake because it likes to eat mice. Yes, very good. And? I don't know what it is. Pick it up. Okay. Don't be picking up things you don't know what it is. I'm going to tell you what it is. Then you'll know, then you can pick it up. You ready? Connor, this is a king snake. Who's heard of king snakes before? One of my favorite snakes, okay? I don't have to talk most people into liking king snakes. Most people, I can get them to like a king snake at least. Now, Connor, come here. Can you pick him up or do you need me to hand him to you? Hand him to you, stand over here. Hold your hands out in front of you. If he bites you, I'm right here. I'll see it. Hold your hands out. You ready? Here we go, Connor. Here's our king snake. Turn around where everybody can see him, Connor. King snakes, one of my favorite snakes, and a snake that you can find right here in Whigham, Georgia. Now the cool thing, I was supposed to do something before. Here, hide the snake. Here, put it behind my back. Hide it. Let me rewind the show. I forgot one thing. I'm thinking of an animal. It lives here in Whigham. If it comes into your yard at night and finds a rattlesnake, it'll kill it, eat the whole thing, and if it gets bit, the venom won't hurt it because it's immune to venom. What animal am I thinking of? The possum. Possums, like king snakes, are immune to most snake venoms. Possums, like all snakes, are not rabies vectors. But some people here in Georgia don't like possums because of how they look. Some people don't like snakes because of how... Some people don't like other people because of how they look. People are the worst, okay? But this king snake, pretty awesome animal. This snake will kill and eat just about any animal that will fit in its mouth. So I brought some different stuff other than that. And this particular one is still a rattlesnake you can find around here. It is a timber rattlesnake. Now, this snake is definitely not one I want to get bit by. But to understand how these rattlesnakes behave and how these rattlesnakes think, let me kind of walk you through the snake's thought process a little bit. This snake right here has got several things it uses to save its life. One of the things this snake has works so good at saving its life, it'll try to use that one thing first when it's out in the woods somewhere just because it's so effective. Who knows what that one thing is? Very good. Camouflage. When this snake is in his environment and he believes you've not seen it, it will not rattle. It will not flick his tongue. It'll even hold its breath and wait on you to walk right past it and leave. Most snakes you get close to outside, you never know you did. Now, once this snake realizes it's been spotted, Then it goes to plan number 2 to save his life, which is? Very good. Escape. He'll try to get away and go somewhere where you can't get to him. But if the snake thinks he's cornered and he thinks you're going to kill him and he can't get away, then he goes to plan number 3 to save his life, which is? Very good. His rattle. Can I ask you a dumb question? Some people say there's no such thing as a dumb question. Those are people who just ask a lot of them all the time to say that. Now, if you're here in Georgia and you go outside and you find a snake and the tail starts to shake really fast, it makes a loud sound you can hear, what snake are you looking at? It could be a king snake, a rat snake, a copperhead, a cottonmouth, a black racer, a coach whip, or a rattlesnake, or a bunch of other snakes. Because not when they're angry, not when they're mad, but when they're scared, lots of different kinds of snakes' tails begin to shake. Here's the difference. When a rattlesnake shakes his tail, he holds the end of it up off the ground. When a king snake, another snake that doesn't have a rattle, when they begin to shake their tail, they lay their tail on the ground. There's a reason for that. When you're walking in the woods, what are you crunching under your feet? Dead, dry leaves. Imagine that snake that doesn't have a rattle laying his tail in the leaves, shaking it really fast. What happens? It makes a loud sound that you hear and you think you just found a rattlesnake. Camouflage didn't work. I saw him. He couldn't escape because he was cornered. The rattle's not scaring me off. What's the last line of defense for this snake? To bite. Now, he's in strike position. He's rattling his tail right now. If this snake were to strike at my hand, he's going to miss my hand only by about this much. I'm pretty sure. All the snake has to do is crawl across this box this far, and he can reach me with a bite that I'm not quick enough to move out of the way of. But it will not do it. This snake may strike at me over and over, but one thing it will not do is leave where it's sitting and crawl closer to me for the purpose of trying to reach me with a bite. Now, with that said, will a venomous snake crawl toward a person? No. They do it all the time. You know which one's notorious for it? The water moccasin. I went to a state park here in Georgia. There's a river that flows through this state park. I get out of my truck, I'm walking down to the edge of the water, and then I look, not a rattlesnake, but something's coming up from the edge of the water. Not one, but 2 Georgia rednecks. And one of them had a big old snake on a stick. And he claimed it was a water moccasin. Now, I knew it was a harmless water snake, but if I told this guy he had misidentified this harmless water snake as a cottonmouth, he wasn't going to believe me. So I decided not to tell him. I decided to teach him the difference. I said, well, can I see the snake up close? He said, don't get too close, man. This thing will kill you. I said, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jason Clark, and I'm terrified of snakes. I ain't getting close. I just want to know what it looks like. These harmless water snakes, people kill them. They cut off the head. They say, what do you mean it's not venomous? It's got fangs. They don't have fangs. They've got big teeth for catching and holding on to slippery fish and frogs. Here's the good part. The spit, the saliva of these harmless water snakes has an anticoagulant. What does that mean? It means their bite's harmless, but it bleeds really cool. He's got that snake on a stick. Before he can move, I reach out and grab it right in the middle of the body. And bam, it bites me on the arm, and here comes the blood. Now I can tell I'm not going to die. It doesn't even hurt. Not a cottonmouth. Here's how you tell the difference. And then I decided I wasn't going to tell them nothing. They both dropped their sticks, ran, and left me. Somewhere here in South Georgia are 2 men driving a yellow Jeep Wrangler who think they killed a guy at the state park over here with a cottonmouth. I hope the guilt is eating them alive. Now, this snake right here, remember I said everything we have out here is a rescue. This particular snake was actually run over by a lawnmower. And no, he didn't mean to run it over, but it was a pretty bad injury. It cut its head off. We had to sew a different head on it. And no, if you look, right here you can see the scar where the blade hit the snake. Right about there where my hook is. And so this snake is not too fond of people, especially lawnmowers. So we're going to slide him back into his box. And I've got one more snake I want to show you before we get off stage right here. Could you find a bigger rattlesnake in Georgia than this? You know what it means when you do? It's a boy. In the world of rattlesnakes, the males get bigger, and there's a reason for everything in nature. Why would the male rattlesnakes need to be really big? Because they fight over the girls just like y'all do. If you've never seen two wild rattlesnakes fight, it's pretty gruesome. These two snakes out in nature, they face each other. They raise their heads up off the ground. That quick, one of them takes their head and makes the other snake's head touch the ground. And that's it. And when his head touches the ground, he goes, "Wow, you're a better rattlesnake than me. I'm going to leave. You can have the girl." They don't bite each other, none of that stuff. They're not the monsters that people make them out to be. So slide our timber rattlesnake right back into his box. We have lots more timber rattlesnakes and many other kind of rattlesnakes in the trailer.